We began with NBC News senior business correspondent Christine Romans, NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell, Emily Blanchard, an economics professor at Dartmouth's Tuck School of Business and former chief economist at the U.S. State Department, and Daisha Milden, consumer insights editor at CNET. Great to have you all here with us. So, Christine, the White House is trying to frame this as a win for Main Street. Take a listen to the Treasury Secretary this morning.
For the next 4 years, the Trump agenda is focused on Main Street. It's Main Street's turn. It's Main Street's turn to hire workers. It's Main Street's turn to drive investment. And it's Main Street's turn to restore the American dream.
So higher tariffs on goods coming from China, higher tariffs on goods going from the U.S. to China. Is Main Street in any way a winner here?
Well, Main Street is in the crosshairs of this new kind of reordering of the global economy that the president wants. And the president has acknowledged that you got to take your medicine, right? That this is going to maybe hurt. There'll be short-term pain here. But Main Street will pay the tariffs. Some of them, maybe some of these companies will absorb them. But the companies most likely to have to absorb them, that can't pass them on, happen to be the smaller businesses that, need to pass. So that's Main Street, in my view. So this is a really interesting moment here where the White House is trying to explain that for the longer-term goal of more manufacturing jobs in the U.S. and more self-reliance in the United States, there will be some near-term costs that will be borne by Main Street.
Main Street, like you said, small businesses, also by the buyers, people who want to purchase things. Kelly, has the administration made any progress on talks with the 70-ish countries they say have requested these negotiations?
Well, that's a mixed picture because we know that the Treasury Secretary says he will lead a lot of these negotiations, and he says he's begun that work with Japan. But there are as many as 50 to 70 nations, according to the White House. We've not gotten a specific list of those countries that have called and requested some kind of direct bilateral negotiations to resolve any of these issues. So that's a long list and a limited number of people at the top of the government who have the expertise and the authority to make any deals on behalf of the president. He may have some interactions himself. We saw him meeting with Netanyahu of Israel last week. That didn't get a trade negotiation involved. But you get the sense that they want to try to give the impression that they are willing to work, and now it's the actual progress of making that happen. So we've heard that a number of nations have said they have not gotten a response back. At the same time, this is a situation where the president has also talked about the potential for adding on to the tariffs with pharmaceuticals. And many drugs that Americans take, generic and brand name, are made overseas, so that could be an issue. The president himself is talking about the demand for his attention. He was at a black tie event over the weekend for the House Republican Campaign Committee. Here's a part of how he described all of the attention coming to him.
I know what the hell I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. And you know what I'm doing, too. That's why you vote for me. I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything. I'll do anything, sir.
So that was last evening, and it's hard to know if that is sort of campaign rally style President Trump, where he likes to tell a good story, or if that really reflects the nature of the conversations that are happening with world leaders and others who are trying to get the message in to the White House that they would like to have some tariff relief.
Emily, anxiety here at home is growing that we could be in a recession soon. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon this morning just saying a recession is a likely outcome. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers agrees that it's more likely than not. Where do you put the odds of a recession?
Look, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know, and nobody does know. But one thing is crystal clear. The odds of a recession are significantly higher this week than even a week ago, than before these tariffs were imposed. The tariffs impose costs on consumers that, as we've seen and your reporting shows, causes people to hold on to their wallets, to their pocketbooks, to decide to wait before making that big purchase. That's a slowdown in economic activity. At the same time, and even more so, all of this uncertainty about costs, about revenues, about the competitive marketplace for all of the things that firms do and sell, that uncertainty's gone way up. And so firms are holding back on key investments. They're very unlikely to make the same kinds of strong hiring decisions they might have otherwise. And all of those things are just putting the brakes on economic activity. So I hate to say it, but I think these prognosticators who are predicting recession may be right.
Daisha, tell us more about how all of this is impacting already what people are buying right now. What are we seeing in the stores?
When we think about it from an electronics perspective, people are really looking into buying smartphones and laptops. That's not quite surprising considering where those parts and those products are usually imported from. Thinking about the tariffs in terms of China and many other countries, those parts are usually imported, which means that we could see higher prices as we start to buy more of those big ticket purchases throughout the year. That being said, if you are thinking about making a bigger purchase, such as maybe that laptop or smartphone or even a gaming console, thinking about the Switch 2 that will hit stores this summer, it's really about thinking about what is really best for your wallet right now. Definitely not going into debt or accruing interest over those purchases, but more importantly, thinking about, do you really need that right now? Is that something that you can maybe hold off on? Is there a maybe refurbished item that you can get instead? But right now is the time to really think really smart about your wallet, but more importantly about those big ticket purchases before you buy them, especially since there's a possibility of a recession and we don't really know what's going to happen with tariffs next.
Right. And Christine, maybe some prices have already started to go up, but we know it could be days, weeks, potentially months before the full impact of these tariffs kick in. Plus, no one knows how long it's going to last, if there are negotiations going on. So when it comes to a little further down the road, summer and fall, what are we expecting? What do consumers need to know?
Well, I think in the very near term, if you're talking about car shopping, there's employee pricing for the Stellantis brands and the Ford brands. That's pretty interesting for consumers right now. The inventory that's on the lots, there might be good deals there. On smartphones, some of those things are already in warehouses, electronics already in warehouses. But as the weeks go on and that inventory starts to dwindle down, it'll be the new stuff coming off the ships through the ports, on the trucks and trains in the United States, getting to the stores. That will cost more. So it will be kind of a slow grind, I think, where prices will start to rise for people.
Are there some areas we're already specifically identifying those prices going up because of industries trying to get ahead of these tariffs?
I haven't seen any what I would call price gouging or anything yet. I think people are just mostly, business owners are mostly like trying to figure out how to price their goods. You look at the Nintendo Switch, for example, they don't know exactly how to price this thing. They can't figure out what to sell it for. That's why they're pausing. I think you'll see big stores starting to cancel orders of stuff coming in from overseas, China in particular. We've already seen some big brands saying that they're going to step back. I'm talking to a toy company in just a few minutes who's canceling orders from China, trying to figure out what are the alternatives and what's going to happen, which could have interesting ramifications for the holiday shopping season. By the way, companies are hiring right now or are ordering right now for what is going to be our big holiday shopping season.
Everything's so connected.
Yeah, it is.
It could be trickle down for months to come. Emily, can you explain why we should be watching the bond markets today?
Yeah, the bond markets are behaving very strangely. For moments of economic uncertainty, usually you see a rush of global savers, including investors in the United States, rushing into U.S. dollar-denominated assets, particularly U.S. government bonds, so U.S. Treasury securities or T-bills. But what we're seeing right now is quite the opposite. Bond prices dropping sharply, and that's the flip side of bond yields going up. So this looks like savers, investors around the world having less of an appetite for buying that formerly considered safe haven asset, U.S. government bonds. It's too early to know whether this will continue or reverse. There are a lot of things that push around bond prices. But one thing that is certain and is well known, as bond yields go up, that's interest rates rise on government debt. That means the cost for the U.S. government and therefore U.S. taxpayers of servicing our debt can go up sharply. And so that is something that we should watch very much, especially as we start thinking about federal budget negotiations in Congress.